Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a bit too much for me.
Now you're getting into that supernatural stuff, and I just don't mess
I
with
can
that.
almost guarantee you've heard those before.
How does one become like a child? And what does it mean to have faith like a child? Matthew 18, 1 through 4. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus, saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And calling to him a child, he put him in the midst of them, and said, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." What does it mean to have faith like a child? I'm going to read a small excerpt from my book that I wrote called Unlocking Faith, The True Key to Enlightenment. You can find an ebook on Barnes & Noble's website right now. I also have a free link to the ebook in a blog site where I have uploaded it one chapter at a time, and you can read it for free there. But there's just a little section from that. Jesus gives deeper meaning to the concept of eliminating doubt when he talks about having faith like a child. What is the difference between an adult and a child? Adults have things figured out, or so they think. Adults know how to operate the world and have learned what is right based on years of education and life experience. Unfortunately, this means adults are also typically set in their beliefs and difficult to teach. When presented with a new truth, an adult will want to research and compare and verify for themselves whether it actually makes sense. And if a truth contradicts something that said adult believes or knows, they will reject that truth based on their own life experience and opinion. A child has the mind of a sponge. A child is constantly learning and changing, absorbing information. A child listens to all adults who teach them and will accept a truth just on the basis of "mommy said so." When an adult tells a child a truth, the child will typically take it as it was said and accept it because an adult said it. This is how we must learn to absorb the words of God. We must revert back to a childlike mindset and love and embrace instruction from the Lord, knowing in full confidence that He knows all and knows best. We must stop questioning what He tells us and shows us. We must accept what He has told us about who He is and who we are to Him. Then we will be able to learn the more difficult truths and experience more supernatural blessings that we were not able to bear before. There are surprisingly a lot of scriptures that adults have a hard time embracing and accepting as truth. One example is in the story when Jesus curses the fig tree and he says to his apostles in Matthew chapter 21, verse 21, Jesus answered them, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to this fig tree, but if you say to this mountain, 'Be taken up and thrown into the sea,' it will happen. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." This is one of those scriptures that adults have a hard time fully accepting. There are so many of them. Another example is actually in the second half of the Great Commission, after Jesus has given his apostles instructions to go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. The second half, starting in Mark 16, verse 17, "And these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will cast out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up serpents with their hands, and if they drink any deadly poison, it will not hurt them. And they will lay their hands on the sick, and they will recover." I was raised under the impression that Only the apostles did these things. These were gifts given to the apostles so they could do the miraculous works that they did and recorded in the scriptures that we have. But in verse 17, Jesus did not say, "And these signs will accompany my apostles who believe." But it says, "These signs will accompany those who believe." That's anyone who believes. So we're called to break down our walls of pride and judgment and revert back to a childlike state of mind where we can take these scriptures, these statements from the mouth of Jesus himself and say, okay, yes, I believe you. I'm going to believe that because Jesus said it right here. I'm not going to doubt it because I think that what I've been taught all my life is the truth, and that says something against what Jesus actually says here and various other times in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Truly, I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Lord, I pray for anyone who hears this. Lord, I pray that you would remove the scales from our eyes. Lord, I pray that you would unclog our ears. Lord, I pray that you would unfuzz our brains. I pray that you would revert us back to a childlike sense of belief and faith and trust in you and in what you have told us. Lord, give us a childlike mindset that we may believe all of your promises, that we may reread your words and your promises to us and accept them fully, knowing that you have made spectacular promises, and if we could just have faith, we will see them come to pass. I thank you for your promises. Lord, I thank you for offering us truth and hope and faith and a relationship with you. And it's in your wonderful Son's name that I pray. Amen.